Hello and welcome to the channel and this video. This video is going to be about me trying to attempt to make a tiny model railway layout. So the board in front of you is 21 inches by 19 inches and the idea is very simple, to have just an oval layout, but the idea is to be able to use it for different things. So to start with, this will be a Christmas layout which will sit on my table, and then the idea is just to have then this as just a little layout which I can show and practice my skills on. Also, I've got a little one so you can mess around with this as well. So hopefully you enjoy the series and see how the build goes. So first thing I've done is I've marked a circle along the layout, and this is just a rough template of where I should be going. So it's 19 inches there and 21 this way, so it's going to be just off an oval size. So yeah, I've got two pieces of Hornby flexi track which I'll be using. So I'm going to roughly place one down using pins to put in place, cut that to sort of size, and then do exactly the same and join them up with some rail joiners. So let's start. So this is the rough half of the shape I want. Just testing a couple of wagons on it to make sure it actually rolls. Obviously it's going to be a very tight layout, but if you run an 040 and a couple of wagons, I shouldn't have any issues. So for example, Hornby Peckett, which I'll be using, and my Hornby Ruston will be absolutely perfect on this. So the rough shape will be two sections of track in sort of a U-shaped form, which then we can join together. So I'm just marking out roughly where the centre is for this piece of track to go. Then I'll put a little pin holder or marker on through one of the already pre-drilled holes in the track. Give it a tap in, and then I can sort of work out where I need to cut the track to be able to then join it together. Also, I'm doing this in the garage outside in November, so that's why I've got my hood up, because it's bloody freezing. So now the idea is now to work out where I need to cut the track. So we use a Dremel to cut track so far. Just marking where roughly the ends are going to come, putting some pins in, and then cut it with the Dremel. It's just an Aldi or Lidl Dremel. It was about £15, so it's absolutely perfect. Get loads of accessories in it. So just making sure I've got enough pins to keep in track exactly, so I don't cut it in the wrong place. And yeah, simple. I'll try and cut it and see how it goes. So after cutting it with the Dremel, I've ended up with something like this. So I'm just making sure it looks fairly right. Obviously I've got a bit of wiggle room because it's flexi track, so just making sure that it still works, not too tight. Like I said, it's only going to be for little 040 locos and a couple of wagons, but just make sure it goes around. No buffer lock, great start there. But as you can see, no issues whatsoever. So, very happy. So next I've got some track pins and actually put them into the correct places where I want the track to be. So just use my normal hammer to start with, just to put them in the right place, then I use my smaller hammer later just to put them all the way in. But quite a nice task, because you can try and make the track as correct as you can, because it's a flexi track, so it moves quite a lot, so it's one of the major benefits. And just like that, we have the track laid. As you can see, it's not 100% perfect, but it's basically an oval shape with a tiny little straight section. Just need to put some sleepers underneath that where that joint is, the same on the other side. So just testing out the Hornby Peckett now on this, making sure it does go around alright. But as you can see, no problems at all. So this track is a lot smaller than the Hornby set radius 1 track. So this is only 19 inches by 21 inches. It's a lot tighter. But as you can see, this Hornby Peckett got no issues whatsoever with that. Just make sure you can go around with one wagon to start with, and I'll put a second one in a minute. But you see, no problems at all, no derailing or anything, no buffer lock. So really happy with this. Track needs a little bit of a clean, but other than that, it's working really well. So I'm just going to test a few different locos on this. So this is a Hornby Christmas tree, and as you can see, the yellow wagon has actually derailed, and I expected this to happen because these have got the old big style couplers on, which don't give as much as the NEM ones do, don't give as much leeway when going around tight bends. So you can see the engine with the blue wagon's fine, but the yellow wagon's got a bigger wheelbase. So I think if I take off the coupler, just have one coupler on the wagon, I think that might solve an issue. So I'm going to try that and see how that goes. And as you can see, removing that one coupler from the yellow wagon, so the blue wagon's got the only coupler on, hooking up to the wagon, and it's now running absolutely perfect, even with the bigger wheelbase. So Christmas theme layout, I've got a train running perfect. So on to the next stage. I thought while we're here, what else can we run on the layout? So we've got a couple more locos I'm just going to run. And this is the biggest logo I'm going to try on this. So this is the Rapidio 15XX. I think it might actually work okay, to be fair. I don't plan on using it at all because it is very tight. But as you can see, it slows down a little bit, but it doesn't derail everything. It does manage to make a whole loop. So just shows you that even with really tight curves, some locos will still get round. Just shows you can actually model double O in a tiny layout and still be able to run locos. You don't need to go to N gauge or TT, you can still use double O, not a problem at all. So my next plan is to cut off the corners, so I'm just using this Flying Scotsman nameplate, believe it or not, because it's perfectly round shape I need. So I'm just going to cut off the sharp corners, makes it a little bit lighter as well, a bit easy. So just going to do that, then I'm going to use my jigsaw just to cut them off. I won't show you me using that, Then I need to paint it and start the scenery, I suppose. Scenery wise, I'm just going to use anything spare I've got. So I've got an old Hornby bridge, got a couple of scaled old trees, pack of ballast sort of stuff, and some old platformy bits I might just use potentially, or might make my own platform. But the idea is to make this not an expensive layout. I'm just using all the leftovers, and we'll see how it goes. So here's a finished product from after using the jigsaw. You can see the corners are now more rounded. I'm going to leave this now for time being. Hopefully you can join me in the next video where I'll carry on and do a bit of scenery with it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe and hopefully see you in the next one. Cheers for now.